What's up, y'all? I'm back out here on the range on another old overcast day. As you can see, not really too bad though. The temperature's supposed to be only in the mid 70s, and this cloudy sky is keeping the sun from baking me, so should be a really good day to get some longer range jelly testing done. And I'm gonna kick things off with a couple of 9mm rounds. So we got the two-piece jelly contraption going on today. We got the radar and the bench down here, and then down there at 28 yards we got a couple of gel blocks. First test of the day, as you can see, so we got a really nice clear picture here. I'm using a heavy clothing barrier steel with a layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And then back down here at the business end, again, I've got a couple of 9mm rounds here. Now, I've tested both of these not real long ago. This right here, the PMC Starfire SFX stuff here, 124 grain with that Starfire hollow point on it, 1126 on the velocity with this. Now, when I tested this before, it was from my MC9 and the G17. We got no kind of expansion at all out of the MC9. So we got over penetration by most people's books. As far as the G17, we did get some nice expansion on that, and I believe it went to about 15 inches or so. So really nice performance out of the G17. So this was one I was curious to see what would happen sending it out of the longer barrel. And then for the other one today, I've got the Ballistic Machinist 9mm Interceptor rounds. These are the solid copper expanders. Y'all know these things have massive expansion on them. Over 1 inch of expansion, diameter expansion on those things last time I tested them. Now again, I tested those out of the MC9 and the G17. Both of these, I believe, got around 9 inches of penetration or so. That's what these are designed to do. Not real big penetration, but huge expansion. And once I saw that, I was personally curious to see what would happen if we did push these to a higher velocity. Would those pedals peel on back and give us more penetration, or would they just simply snap off? Now this stuff's saying 1335 as far as the velocity out of a 4.6-inch barrel, so we got more than that if I remember correctly out of that G17, and I think we got right there at it out of the MC9. As far as what we're running it out of today here, we got the 16-inch Henry Homesteader, so it's going to be real interesting to see just how much velocity we pick up. As far as these Starfire, well, both of them, I suspect we're only going to pick up maybe 100, maybe 150 feet per second, just because of how these are designed to run from shorter barrels and, you know, not carbine length. So I don't think it's going to be a real huge jump in velocity. And then also, of course, you've got to figure we are going to be losing some of the velocity that we're gaining because I'm moving it out to 28 yards. Now, it's always tough to pick a distance here. I figured doing it at 10 feet where the handgun stuff was, that's just kind of silly. Anything further than about 25 yards, I feel like is getting a little bit sketchy as far as trying to claim self-defense out of that. So I just went with 28 yards. If y'all have got different ideas about that, let me know down in the comments. But this ought to be a pretty interesting one to start the day out. Let's get this stuff set up and see what they do. All right, let's see what kind of velocity we can stretch out of these things. I'm gonna start with the Interceptors first. I'm gonna do a 5-round average on both of them. If y'all not familiar with this lab radar, it's gonna give us multiple readings. The first one, the large numbers at the muzzle, and then you got 5 additional across the bottom. I've got the first one set for 10 yards, and then we've got 28 yards, which is where the gel is, 50, 75, and 100. So should get readings all the way out there to 100. I had to pull this Homesteader muzzle back almost even with this radar because that brake makes this thing so quiet right here at the muzzle. Sometimes I've had trouble triggering it, but we should be all right here. Let's see what we get. 1335 is what it said. If I'm guessing, I'm gonna guess around 1450, something like that. Let's see what happens here. 1459, 1443, 1456. We didn't get one on that one. Didn't get one on that one either. Let me grab 2 more rounds. All right, let's see if we can get these last 2. I probably should have just took that brake off. I keep moving it. I know that's what's doing it. I mean, it's really quiet right there at the muzzle with that brake on it. 1458. and 1498. So seems like real consistent stuff like it was out of the shorter barrels. Let's check out the average. All right, so our 5-round average there was 1463. So I wasn't far off with my 1450 guess. That's what, 130 some above what the box says here out of the shorter barrel. So 1463, 55 extreme spread, and a 20.6 standard deviation. So to be out of a longer barrel, that's not bad at all, because I'm sure it's a shorter burning type of stuff. Let's get this thing reset and see what the Starfire does. All right, let's see what the Starfire does. Remember, the box on this is saying 1126. So I don't know if I even mentioned that ballistic machinist was 90 grain. This is 124, so pretty big difference in weight. 1126 here. I think we met that on the G17. So my guess is going to be probably 1250, something like that. We probably won't pick up quite as much with this 124. Let's see what happens. I went ahead and pulled the brake off of this thing, because if this is going to be a little quieter even, and it may give me some difficulty. So I'll just leave the brake off while we're doing this radar. Let's see what we get. 1134. Well, 1120. Yeah, we barely picked up anything. 1231. 1228, maybe that first one was just a little low, a little cold maybe. 1220 and 1216. So after that first one, not too bad. Let's see what the average was. All right, so the 5-round average on that was 1206. So definitely didn't pick up a whole lot there. What's 80, about 80 feet per second over what the box says. That average is a little low though, because of that first one. So it's probably a little bit more than that. 1134 out of that first one. I said maybe it's a cold barrel, but it wasn't all that cold. We just ran them other rounds. So that gave us an extreme spread of 97 with a standard deviation of 40.8. So decent little pickup, but not really a whole lot. Probably not as much as a lot of people would have expected. That being said, at that distance, we're probably going to get better performance than we did out of the shorter barrels, but maybe not a whole lot. Let's get this stuff set up. Y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's giddy up jelly time. I'm gonna put one of each into the gel, starting with this ballistic machinist Interceptor first. I don't think I mentioned the point of impact of these are vastly different. This Interceptor is hitting about 3/4 of an inch low as far as point of aim out there at 28. The 124 Starfire is hitting exactly the opposite. It's about 3/4 of an inch high out there at 28. So I'm gonna have to compensate here a little bit with my hold, because I don't have any lines on the top half of this reticle. They're only on the bottom half, so should be all right though. All right, that should have been a good one. Let me go see what we got. All right, y'all, not really a surprise what we got down there once you think about it, because we're basically getting the velocity at that 28 yards that they're rated for at the muzzle. So you're getting pretty much the same at 28 yards from this carbine as you are at 10 feet from the G17. But let's see what this Starfire does anyway. I suspect it's gonna do about like the G17 did at 10 feet. So pretty interesting stuff though, to kind of be able to compare it at different distances. Let's see what we get. All right, that should have been another good one. Let's go down there and check them out. All right, let's check out what we got down here. Really interesting to see this down here at 28 yards. We basically got the same performance from the 16-inch Henry at 28 yards that we got from the 4.5-inch G17 at 10 feet. So I didn't see anything different like I was hoping to, but that is very interesting to see that you can kind of equate those two distances and different barrel lengths and check out what the performance might be. But anyway, again, pretty much the same thing we saw last time out of both of these rounds from the longer barrels. The ballistic machinist up here, the Interceptor, it comes in here, big disruption right here. This thing really dumped some energy really quick. It slung the clothes off the front of the gel. So y'all have heard me say before, whenever that happens, usually it's because some nice energy is being dumped really fast. So again, big energy dump here, nice disruption all the way to it, stops right there, and absolutely incredible expansion from this thing. Again, there's no doubt that's an engine inch again, but as you see, it didn't quite, it probably made it to exactly halfway, just halfway through this first block. So y'all know me, I like more penetration than that, but one thing you have to say, these rounds do exactly what they claim to do. And then down below it with the Starfire, same deal here. Very, very nice disruption, immediate expansion, disruption all the way through its track. It's sitting down here again, had some forward momentum to looks like about 15 inches. So exactly what that G17 did at 10 feet. And once again, some really, really nice expansion on that. So let's make sure on these measurements here. For the Ballistic Machinist Interceptor, you're at exactly 8 inches on this. So again, that's exactly, I think it says 8 to 12 inches. I'm not exactly sure, but they don't claim huge penetration. So did what it said it was supposed to do. And then on the Starfire here, again, exactly 15 inches of penetration. So both of these did exactly what they're claiming to do. Here's your closer look of them. Again, Machinist on the top, Starfire on the bottom. I mean, big disruption there from that Ballistic Machinist. It's a little bigger than it looks in person even. I'm sure if you freeze that frame right there when it smacks the gel, it's probably all 6 inches of that gel. You're going to see the disruption. So gets on through there to 8 inches, and as you can see, big expansion. Down below it, the Starfire again, very nice performance from this thing. I really like the looks of this, and as you can see, nice expansion from that one. Top view here, you can really see the size of that Interceptor disruption there on the top. No slouch on the bottom with that Starfire, and just look at the expansion on that Interceptor. I mean, massive expansion. If we keep going through here, there's your Starfire. All right, let's take a look at these projectiles. If you didn't know any better, you would swear this right here is a completely different caliber than this. I mean, that expansion is just incredible. That's some really nice expansion from these things. They are engineered to do exactly what they do, and they definitely do it well. So Ballistic Machinist Interceptor there, Starfire here. Now, this Starfire looks nice. These things really, when they are expanded, they really remind me of an HST or a V-Crown. Really nice looking expanded projectile. So glad to see this right here. I like the performance of this right here personally. I like that penetration. I like the expansion that it gets. This right here, on the other hand, some people love these. They love this short penetration. Y'all know me, I'm not so much a worrier about the over penetration thing. So that doesn't really factor in for me when I'm choosing ammo. But if you are worried about some over penetration and looking for max expansion, these things right here are incredibly nice. So let's get some measurements on them and see what we got. I don't see any kind of loss from either of these. I'll be very surprised. This one started at 90.0 and it's at exactly 90.0 grains. This one started at 124. And this one is at 123.8. So I would say that's manufacturing tolerances. You might have lost a crumb, but I don't think you lost anything from either one of those. And then on the sizes, of course, this is going to be a big difference. We'll start with the Starfire. You got 613 and 610. So very nice expansion on that one right there. Although it's about to get put to shame right here with this Ballistic Machinist Interceptor. You got 1.05 inches and another 1.05 inches the other direction. So that's just absolutely incredible symmetrical expansion from a solid copper round like that. And there you have it, y'all. The Ballistic Machinist Interceptor and the Starfire, PMC Starfire, run from a 16-inch barrel carbine. Really interesting stuff right here. Again, once I start using my noodle, I mean, it's common sense what I'm going to get out here just looking at the velocities. I'm getting basically the same velocities from the 16-inch barrel out here at 28 yards, though we got out of the G17 up there at 10 feet. So pretty much the same performance. I didn't get the differences that I was looking for. I was hoping maybe something like these pedals peeling back, maybe even snapping off, giving me extra penetration. Didn't get that, but this is very interesting. You could possibly take this right here that you're seeing, and if you're running, you know, shorter barrel up close, you see the performance from some of the other tests that I've done. And if I haven't tested those through a carbine, I'm not saying you can do it 1-to-1 every time like this, but it would probably be a pretty close guesstimate most of the time that you're going to get that performance if you run that round out of a 16-inch barrel out here at 25, 28 yards. All right, y'all, I think I'm gonna call it right there for a pretty interesting first test of the day. But let me know what y'all think about the performance from both of these out of the carbine out there at 28 yards. Also, let me know again if you think the distance that I'm using needs to be changed for whatever reason. Like I say, it's kind of a tough choice when you're talking about carbine stuff, especially with self-defense rounds, because getting out too far, you know, you're gonna get into sketchy territory. And being so close like this, I feel like I don't know that you'd be using a 16-inch barrel up that close. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you take a second to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you got your notifications on so you get notified when I upload stuff. Take a second if you're doing some shopping and check out those affiliate links in the video description. Anything you buy after hitting up those links down there, I get a kickback from them toward the channel, so I really do appreciate that. Again, a big thanks to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I've got one more test planned for today, so stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.